Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine avathara varishthaya ramakrishnaya te namaha pavitram charitam yasyaha pavitram jivanam tatha pavitrata swarupinye tasye kurmo namo namaha Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surage Sachit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Om Sarva Mangalam Angalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. So, I will not begin with any new subject for the Sunday classes, because again next Sunday I will not be here, I will be in Belgaum. So I thought I cannot take up any new one. Hence I thought I will share some more incidences and reminiscences of our senior Swamis. So because next Sunday English and on the third Sunday it will be Kannada. So I cannot continue the subject, new subject. So I thought of adding some more incidences to what we had discussed earlier in the last two Sundays before, where I mentioned some incidences from Swami Premeshanji Maharaj's life, one incident Swami Tyagishanji, and about Bhikkhu Shankaranda and Swami Akhandanda Saraswati, and the integrity of our senior sadhus who were at Belur Math. I will take up few more incidences like that today also. Before beginning, I will narrate one or two incidences, one incident from Sri Ramakrishna's life, one incident from Swamiji's life, not available in your Leela Prasanga, but as I heard it, of course it's printed somewhere else in their Udbodhan Patrika, etc., but not published into English, that's the meaning. So a bit of Thakur and Mother Swamiji, and then I will enter into senior sadhus' lives. Actually, we have seen in Leela Prasanga also, where once Manmohan Vilas Swamiji, about the sayings of Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji says, we can write volumes and shelves of books on one sentences of Sri Ramakrishna's, etc. Then Manmohan will say, can you explain? There, Swamiji takes up the example of that Mavati Narayana, elephant Narayana, and discusses for 3 days continuously on human will, self-effort and God's grace for 3 days. So, in this context, we cannot understand. Sri Ramakrishna has told so many things, but until unless we see, hear from others or from a evolved soul, we cannot understand the exact meaning of Sri Ramakrishna's messages. To give one example, in Kasipur Garden House, Sri Ramakrishna one day says to Holy Mother, you have read it, it comes in Gospel, it comes in Life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna says, today after he had a vision, after that he called Holy Mother and said, today I had been to a very far off place where very many white people were there. I could see them, their devotion, etc. I had been to a very far off place. So the inference from this incident that he went to European countries, is it not? When Swami Vivekananda went later, we came to know that Sri Ramakrishna had said all these things earlier. But this incident was narrated by Holy Mother to Nivedita. When Nivedita met Holy Mother, in one of their conversations, Holy Mother seeing her, she said, Sri Ramakrishna already had come to your places. He had had a vision that he is going to far off places, etc. So you are all coming here. Then Nivedita became very curious. Then she said, Mother, can you identify the month, in which month Sri Ramakrishna said this? Then Mother thought, it may be, generally I am saying, it may be in November. Can you identify the date? She went on asking questions, query. audit queries. So she asked many questions. Then mother gave a probable date and a probable month. Maybe this is November 17, something like that. Then she went back home. She used to maintain a diary. She used to note down important incidences of her life on those days. Then she went back to that year, to probable date that Holy Mother indicated, and she was at that time 18 years. Nivedita was 18 years. Then she has written on that day, I had a vision of a great Mahapurusha, I don't know who he is. Of course, she not explicitly told like others that I had the vision of Sri Ramakrishna, etc. But in her diary, she has written this. She shares. Nivedita shares it later after hearing from Holy Mother. She says, I had a vision on this day of a great Mahapurusha. I don't know who he is. Because Sri Ramakrishna said, I saw some white people. We thought he went to somewhere. But already he has started his Leela, though nobody has gone to West. So, regarding Nivedita also, Brahmanji Maharaj used to say, whenever Nivedita comes, Maharaj used to say, my mind automatically is uplifted to a higher plane. She always lives at a higher plane of consciousness. Nivedita is not an ordinary woman. This is said by Raja Maharaj. Brahmanji Maharaj used to say, hey, the moment Nivedita comes, my mind also gets uplifted because she stays at a higher plane of existence or consciousness. That was Sister Nivedita. Now, coming to Swamiji, as you know, Nivedita started her work in Calcutta by starting a school mainly for girl children, girl students. She had a very tough time. You know, you would have read her life. She had a very tough time. More or less in one certain time it was limping. It was in a limping condition. So, after many years of her struggle to run that school, suddenly she had a problem at Ireland. She had a family problem. Her brothers or sisters could not take care of her mother. They were all married. They all went away and mother was left alone at home. Now she was supposed to go back to Ireland to take care of her mother. She was in a dilemma, and to get a suggestion from Swamiji, she came to Swami Vivekananda. And she said, Swamiji, I have to go back to Ireland, but I cannot leave the work that I have taken at India. What should I do? Swamiji by the time almost he is withdrawing himself. He is not in a mood to inspire anybody in a physical sense. So Swamiji said, he thought for a while, and Swamiji said, okay, if that is the will of Lord, if Sri Ramakrishna does not like this school to be run, let it be closed. He gave this statement, that's all. So much inspired, brought her all the way from England to Ireland and to India, and she has started with so much vigor. Holy Mother had visited her place. Of course, it's all a little later then. So, Swamiji says, if it is not the will of the Lord, your school will be closed. You can go back to Ireland. Then Nivedita was not happy with the answer. She was searching for an answer. Then she said, Swamiji, why don't you pray to Sri Ramakrishna? You can pray to Sri Ramakrishna. You pray, he will listen to you. Then Swamiji said, I cannot pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Amar Hobena. Why, Swamiji, why? Then Swamiji says, Thakur Amar Chele Matho. Sri Ramakrishna is like a child to me. This reflects one of the Baba. You should not stick to it. Because Swami Vivekananda is like a Hanuman. If he has a body consciousness, he identifies as a Bhakta and as a Vishtadviti, and then when he is Atman, he identifies with Rama. You have to apply this here. So, when Nivedita asked this question, Sri Ramakrishna says, Sri Ramakrishna Amar Cheler Mato. He is like a child. He used to depend on me for so many things when I was. And he used to call me Sri Ramakrishna, if you remember, he used to say, Narendra Amar friend. He was unable to utter friend. Friend, he used to tell. Sri Ramakrishna. What do you understand by a friend? They are equal. There is no Guru Shishya Bhava among friends. That's the meaning. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, during Narendra's time at his the Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, Narendra Ama, their friend. So, that he quotes here to Nivedita and says, Sri Ramakrishna had that bhava. He used to depend on me for so many things. He is Amar Chelar Moto Amar Hobina. He did not pray, saying that I look upon Sri Ramakrishna as my child. So, this is one of the, of course, these things are not much discussed. That's why I wanted to narrate these two in the beginning. And if you remember, that's why Sri Ramakrishna says, Naren, wherever you carry me, I will stay there. It's all same bhava. That's why he himself carried the turn from Neelambar Garden House before installing at the Belur Math. Now, coming to the sadhus, only two incidents I want to narrate regarding the sweet relationship between or among sadhus. There is a Holy Mother also says, when this mission began, Ramakrishna mission began, there are so many things connected with this also. Anyhow, Holy Mother says, the foundation for this sadhu sangha, Ramakrishna movement, is love. Nothing else. You cannot bind them by law. It is only through love. So that's why you can see all this loving relationship among the senior sadhus. Like when Virajanji Maharaj was the head of, president of our order on the staying at Belur Math. Of course, he used to stay many times in Shamlatal. And during the last days, he was asked to come and he stayed in Belur Math. So, Maharaj was not keeping well for some time, some days. The news went to Swami Vishuddhanji Maharaj. As you know, Vishuddhanji Maharaj was a disciple of Holy Mother. Virajanji was also the disciple of Holy Mother. So, Maharaj Vishuddhanji Maharaj was staying at Ranchi that time. So, he heard that Virajanji Maharaj is not keeping well. He came all the way from Ranchi to Belur Math to see Swami Virajanji. He came there. And then, it was almost evening when you should remember those days, a train coming all the way too late. Not so, there was no Vande Bharat during those times. It was all pre-independent era. So, when Vishuddhanji came, he came more or less in the evening. And immediately when he entered Belur Math, he washed his face and foot and then directly went and met Virajanji Maharaj to inquire about his health. Then the Kushalopari went on, how are you, Maharaj, Swami, etc., etc. Then Virajanji Maharaj asked, when did you come to Belur Math? Maharaj, I am coming just now. After arrival, I have come directly to see you. Are, kichu khecho? Have you eaten something? No, Maharaj, we cannot pack like earlier. Nowadays, you have pantry in trains also. Is it not? They will give you. If you have to book it earlier, that's all. So, there was no such a packing system. So then, kichu kecho, na Maharaj. Are Bapre, you have come without eating. You first go to dining hall and take food. It was evening. Then Vishuddhanji Maharaj told, Maharaj, now it is time for Aarti, Sri Ramakrishna's Aarti. Who will go to dining hall during Aarti time? We have to go to temple, complete Aarti. Then during dinner time, I will have my food. Then Virajanji Maharaj told Vishuddhanji, tumi to chele, ekoni tumi chele. He was hardly 5 years junior. Virajanji, during that time, he was 80. Vishuddhanji was 75 years. Then he told, tumi to chele. You are still a young boy. Not necessary for you to attend Aarti. You go and take food. Nobody will care you. Nobody will ask you. They were at high stature regarding spiritualization. Spirituality is concerned. But when it comes to relationship, Virjanji must you see Vishuddhanji as a young child. In houses, when you have Ganapati Vrata, Swarnaguru Vrata, all Vratas will perform. Old people are not supposed to do fasting. Younger children will be given food if they are going to school. They are also not supposed to fast. So in that sense, Vishuddhanji is telling, Virjanji is telling, तुम्हारा किचु दर तुम तो एक चले you go to dining take one and then see Sri Ramakrishna. So you can imagine their bhava. And second incident, I will come to application also afterwards. First incidents, then application. Second part comes application. Drawing hypothesis. Second is a very recent one. When revered Swami Gahananji Maharaj was the General Secretary. So, during that time, Swami Suhitanji Maharaj was at Diogar. He was, I think, most probably Secretary. He had some issues regarding the education institution. He came all the way to Belur Mutt from Bihar, Diogar, and met Maharaj, Gahananji Maharaj, and wanted an interview to discuss some of the problems of the mission center regarding Diogar. He waited and waited and waited, could not get Gahananji Maharaj for the interview. Then it was almost in the evening, and Gahananji Maharaj told, I am going to Seva Pratishthan. I am going by a car. You accompany me in the car. We will discuss on the way, because I don't have any issues while going in the car. You come, we will discuss, and then you can go back. The moment both of them sat in the car, one more senior Swami entered the car and said, I am also going to Seva Pratishthan, you please drop me at Seva Pratishthan. So they could not discuss anything regarding any issues, because that Swami is there. There will be some confidential matter regarding the administration. So they could not discuss anything. They reached Seva Pratishthan, and Suhitanji Maharaj, now the Vice President of our order, he is waiting in the corner. He went to office. There were some issues there, and Gahananji Maharaj was busy till 10 p.m. Then he came out, and Suhitanji Maharaj still waiting. He showed one room and said, you be sleeping here, I will call you afterwards. You go take rest. There was one cot, and Maharaj was sleeping. Suhitanji Maharaj was sleeping in that room. At 11 or 11:30, he called, asked somebody to call Suhitanji. They discussed for some 45 minutes in midnight. And then, yes, you go and take rest, you go. And Maharaj continued his work in Seva Pratishthan, Gahananji Maharaj. And morning 6 o'clock was his train. Suhitanji was trained back to Diogar. So he got up at 4 o'clock. He took his bath, etc. At 5 a.m., he came out of his room to board some taxi, etc., to go to railway station and then board a train back to Diogar. When he came out of the room, he saw Gahananji Maharaj waiting with a bread toast and a cup of hot milk at 5 a.m. He said, I heard that you will be leaving at 6 p.m., so I want you to take this and then leave. So Suhitanji Maharaj was in tears. At what time you slept, Maharaj? Maybe at 2 p.m. I slept. Because I heard that you are going early in the morning. So I thought I should offer you something, because nobody will be there at 5 a.m. to offer you something. See, even after marriage, you will have some problems, is it not? Children will not take care of their mother. Husband and wife may quarrel. In-laws may quarrel. Who will get up at 5? You are asked me. Here nobody is binding us. It is only the love of Holy Mother, Thakur and Swamiji, nothing else. You cannot bring any philosophy here. One of the rarest things that you see, especially in Ramakrishna movement, at least in mission, at the external level, at the very grosser level, you may not see all the subtleties. But the deeper level, we find there is a lot of, I should not use the word, but for practical purpose, I am using the word bondage. Among sadhus, wherever we are, somebody will be thinking of me somewhere else, who has seen me somewhere. I also will think of our own sadhus, whom I have met, who is doing sadhana. I will let him go, let him evolve. We pray, they also pray us. There is a certain amount of, as I told you, a bondage among sadhus. That I just for your this thing, I brought notice of only 2 incidents from our senior sadhus. Now, when you try to apply, the problem is, the greatest problem is, every individual has a large amount of selfishness that manifests as ahankara, mind. How does selfishness manifest? As this ahankara. You might be knowing that incident when Swami Yatishwaranji Maharaj was in Bangalore, when Harshanji, Shastranji, they were all brahmacharis here. Even Sureshanji was here during those times. Then one day, maybe in the afternoon, one brahmachari fell down. While doing some work, he fell down and fractured his hip bone. Then I think he was admitted to, most probably, not here, at least mostly he was admitted to a hospital, and he was advised 2 weeks bed rest, not to get up and move around for at least for 2 weeks. He was completely bedridden. This news was brought to Swami Yatishwaranji, and then he said, okay, I will see him tomorrow morning. I think next day morning, after breakfast, he went to see that brahmachari. He came near the bed where this brahmachari was lying down, and other brahmacharis thought he will give some consoling words saying, you take care, you take care of health, you be aware, next time, okay, take good rest, etc., etc. But Yatishwaranji did not tell any of those things. He then came near the bed and asked, do you know why this has happened to you? No, Maharaj, because you are too selfish. Yatishwaranji's answer was different. You are too selfish. That's why Sri Ramakrishna made you to injure your hip. Hereafter, remember, if you want to stay in a community, be unselfish. Otherwise, you will suffer like this. And then Maharaj left. That's all. No consoling words apart for your medical thing. So, there are so many things. As we evolve, we can understand many things that happens in our life. Of course, there are certain things which happens automatically or mechanically. There are many things hidden which can be known only when we evolve. We would have seen it from our childhood days, but we will not understand those things. We have to come to a certain level of understanding many subtler things that we see every day here. So, until unless we evolve, those things will not be made to understand. It will never be understood by anybody. It's a very, very important factor. Now, coming to the sadhana part, spiritual practices, which is one of my favorite subjects. When it comes to sadhana, I was always curious how our senior sadhus used to do. Because when we come here, generally, you are given a certain instructions before joining or doing mantra diksha by your guru. No specific instruction will be given until unless we ask for it. Nobody will say anything. They will guide you regarding work. But regarding spiritual practices, if the sadhaka does not ask, nobody will tell you. And if you want to ask, you should have an inner craving. Otherwise, it will not be. We will never ask a right question to right persons. So, I was curious enough how, in midst of all this work, how could our senior sadhus evolve so much in spiritual life was my question for many years. So, I used to dig in and ask senior sadhus or get a chance to hear from them. So, I will place a few incidents for your reference. Actually, there was one disciple of Swami Brahmanji Maharaj who was staying at Belur Matta. He used to have, now I don't remember, afterwards I will let you know the name. He used to often tell, you know, we use a blade to shave our beard or moustache. Is it not? It should be quite sharp enough to have a shave. So, he used to tell, can you use this blade to mend or to sharpen your pencils? No, Maharaj, if we sharpen our pencil, we cannot again use it for shaving. Then Maharaj used to tell, in the same way, if you give your mind first to world, then to God, you cannot. It first God, shaving means it is godliness first, then worldliness. If you have given this mind to world, you will have a hell of time to give it to God. So practice at the beginning stage to give your mind to God first and then to world. Otherwise, I tell you, not possible. Hobena. Many may disagree, but hobena. It is not possible. or maybe possible with Herculean task. That's why Maharaj used to tell this. Like a blade, your mind should be offered to God first and then to world. Otherwise, it becomes a tremendous Herculean task. Regarding this, to what extent they were evolved, I will quote one incident from Swami Shantanji Maharaj. You know, he was also a disciple of Holy Mother. A very great sadhu. He used to stay during last days in Belur Math. And then he used to tell that he always used to hear Anahata. That is the indication of rising of Kundalini, etc. Those incidents you can get from his life. So, when he was serving Holy Mother, Shantanji Maharaj asked Holy Mother, actually, the way he used to work, for everything he used to depend on Holy Mother. Suppose he wants to go to market, let us say for an example, he will go to Mother, Maharaj, Ma, ami jabo? Ha, tumi ja. And then he had some work in the beginning. Maharaj, ami ki korbo? For everything he used to depend on Mother, he used to instruct, hey, you do this, you do that. He had any confusion, directly go and report to Holy Mother. They had a son and child relationship. Everything he used to, Shantanji, such a childlike person. Then he got a greatest doubt in his life. Are pore ki korbo? Afterwards, what shall I do? Then he went to Holy Mother and said, Mother, what shall I do afterwards? After you leave, what shall I do? Whom shall I ask? Then Holy Mother, Ami to achi. Holy Mother, I am always there. Na, erakam bolchina. Na, I am not telling like this. If you leave this physical frame, whom shall I ask? This is my question. Then Holy Mother replied, Ami tumake mone mone bolbo. This Holy Mother's assurance to Shantanji. Ami tumake mone mone bolbo. Whenever you have any doubt, you ask me. I will tell you in your mind. Maybe if you remember Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhyo yogam tam. Sri Krishna says there in the Gita, whoever wants to do upasana on me, I give buddhi yoga to understand me. So in the same sense, Holy Mother is telling, she has not read Bhagavad Gita in that sense. She says, Ami tumake mone mone bolbo. So I will tell you, inspire you in the mind so that you will understand and do the work accordingly. So they have given their mind to God first and then to the world. That's why they are at a higher level of resonance because they can get direct instructions from Holy Mother. Second one, second incident, of course, this you know, it is even given in our meditation spiritual life. Just for your remembrance, I am quoting this incident. When maybe during 1980s or 1919, when Swami Yatishwaranji Maharaj got sannyasa from Raja Maharaj Brahmanji, after Viraja Homa, he went to Maharaj to take the talker cloth, etc., to do pranams to his guru. What did Raja Maharaj did, Brahmanji? He placed his hand on Yatishwaranji's head. Then what was his experience? He found Brahmanji Maharaj, the world, and himself merged into that infinite existence or infinite consciousness. All the three merged into one infinite consciousness. He experienced it. Then what he understood, he said, Oh, Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That comes in Guru Stotram. That Akhanda Vyaptam Yena Chara Achara. That sentient and non-sentient being, it is the pure existence, is covering everything. So, he experienced that Akhanda, then he writes in that reminiscences, he says, then I understood the meaning of Akhanda Mandalakaram, what that it means. That's what we see everything every day. Until unless this mind evolves to a certain level of resonance, nothing is experienced. It becomes a bookish language, bookish learning. So, now coming to the practice of mainly spiritual practice, I will refer one or two incidences only. You know, Swami Bhuteshanji Maharaj went thrice to do tapasya. After taking sannyasa from Mahapurush Maharaj, he went to Varanasi and stayed few months. Then during 34-36 time, he went to Uttarakashi, Laksheshwar. If somebody have you gone to Uttarakashi, I said, when 7 or 8 years before when I went there, that room where Bhutashanji Maharaj did tapasya, they have preserved that room still now. You can visit where Maharaj did his tapasya. So for 3 years he was in Uttarakashi. He went twice, 1.5 years one, second time he went for 1.5 years. When he went for the first time, he went to Haridwar, and then from Haridwar he went to Uttarakashi. When Bhutashanji Maharaj with Mahapurush Maharaj went to Kankal, during that time Swami Kalyananji Maharaj was there. He didn't have, I think he had one set of extra cloth apart from what he was wearing. One set of cloth and a kamandulu maybe, and he had one kambal, a blanket on his shoulder. So he went and reported Kalyananji Maharaj, Maharaj, I am tapasya jabu, I am going for tapasya. Where? Maharaj, I am Uttarakashi te jabu. Tale tumi erakum jabe. He had a blanket. He is asking Kalyananji Maharaj is asking Bhutashanji, so you are going prepared. In the sense, you should not carry even kambal. Erakum jabe tumi. You should not go whatever, wherever be there, don't expect. If you are going like that, then go. Don't, otherwise don't go. Bhutashanji Maharaj used to tell us, after sannyasa used to tell, if somebody tells, Maharaj, I want to go for tapasya, then you go to a place where there are nobody to ask you. Then you will understand the grace of Sri Ramakrishna. Otherwise you will not understand. There should not be a ganta. In mission we have a ganta, 12:30. In Ramakrishna mission, Shivnali we don't have ganta. If you go, they will give. If you don't go, nobody will give. Whereas some devotees will give now. But so there is no ganta in Shivnali. But in all mutt centers there is a ganta. 12:30 they will give you bell, you go take food. Then Maharaj used to say, if you want to go to tapasya, go to a place where there are nobody to ask you. Then you will understand your nirbharata on Sri Ramakrishna. That's why Kalyananji Maharaj, Tale tumi erakum jabe. Then he kept that blanket there in Kankal and then he walked all the way to Uttarakashi. Then he settled at Laksheshwar. So what was his routine? He rarely speaks about his sadhana. Very few things he has spoken. So when he went to that place, he used to get up at morning 2:30 a.m. Then once he get up at 2:30, I have seen my own batchmates. When I was in training center for 2 years, I used to see some of my brahmacharis who used to get up at 2:30. There 2:30 is a common in Belur, but many sadhus do that. My 2-3 sadhus are there. They are still have made that time 2:30. And one sadhu was there with me. By God's grace, he has very less of sleep. Food also is not worried. Sleep also is not worried. When we went to Jairam Bhatti, whole night he did not sleep. Many times I have seen him in Swamiji's temple, many times. He will sleep, he will be meditating, and then morning 1-2-3 hours he will sleep, and then he will start working. Very good sadhus were there with me also. So, here Maharaj used to get up at 2:30 a.m. He used to sit for meditation till 7:30. Get up at 2:30, wash your face, etc., sit and meditate till 7:30. Then he used to go to Ganges for 7:30 to take a bath, come back and sit again till 10 a.m. for meditation. Then 10, he used to go out to Annasatra. Actually, when I went to Uttarakashi, I stayed only for 5 days. In Uttarakashi, we have center, but no cooking, no kitchen, nothing. You have to depend completely on Bhiksha only. Of course, now much ahead in every terms. You have 3-4 Annachatras. So, what I used to do, again, who will go in the night? I used to go to Annachatra. They will give, the rationing is done. They will give roti, dal and sabji. That is fixed. You don't get rice in Uttarakashi. So, they will give 4 rotis for a sadhu. 1, 2, 3, 4, not above 4. So, 4 is not enough. What will do? I used to go to Annachatra, take 4 there, to 8. I used to come back. 4 I will eat it in the afternoon, another 4 in the night. Who will go in the evening again, somebody too. So, collect 8 rotis and then take 4 in the evening, 4 in the morning. So, when Maharaj was there, that was still a difficult condition. So, he used to go at 10:30 for Bhiksha. By 11, whatever bhiksha that he used to get, he used to sit on the bank of the Ganges, take that bhiksha, come back to kutia, rest for half an hour or 40 minutes again sit for meditation till evening. Evening there is a small, if you have seen that Laksheshwar, there is a small Shiva temple near the small hillock. He used to have a little bit walk, come back, sit for meditation. He used to take only one meal per day, that's all. That too whatever he gets. If he does not get a food that day full upasam, like Purna Ekadashi. No supper. He did it for 1.5 years. Both for 3 years, that was his routine. Sleep in the night, get up from 2:30 till all, best only one meal per day. And then, after practicing this routine for 1 year, one day Maharaj thought, I want to test my mind. Today, I will sit for meditation and I will allow this mind to roam wherever it wants. I will not control, not direct, nor ask it to meditate, nor do japam. I will allow it to roam anywhere. He was observing as a witness his own mind. And Maharaj said, this mind went and sat at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Then he said, what joy I experienced that day, that time. Even if I allow, it will not go anywhere. And one more caution. Let us say we all start at 2:30. After 1 year, if you test, I say it's not guaranteed. There are many other things that has to be done along with this. Of course, in course of time, I will tell you. Doing sadhana is not doing long hours. Many of our own sadhus have done for maybe 15, 20 years, 8 to 10 hours. I have seen with my own eyes. They have practiced meditation 8 to 10 hours for 15 to 20 years. After 20 years, he went into depression and committed suicide. So, I have seen him with my own eyes. So, it is not, so there is something else apart from this. So, I am giving you what self-effort can be done. This is concerned with self-effort. We need the Guru Kripa, Ishta Kripa. For that, many things are there. Let us complete this issue, line of thinking now. Then, even when Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, whenever he used to go to Belur Mutt for trustee meeting, he was in Hyderabad, he was the vice president when he used to go to trustee meeting for attending in Belur Mutt. During those days, Swami Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj was the president. Then, seeing him, Maharaj used to say, I cannot work like him. What Ranganathanandaji Maharaj has done, we know. But he used to say to Maharaj, Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj saying, oh, I cannot do Bapre. If I become president, I cannot work like him. He was telling. Maharaj was there for till 97 years. He was there, he lived for 97 years, Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj. He has initiated, one of the president who has given long number of initiatives, more than 120,000 mantra dikshatis. He has given diksha for more than 120,000. Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj. You can imagine how much of his body has undergone that tapasya giving diksha. It's not a easy thing to give diksha. If he has traveled, he has traveled Japan, Canada, America, England, Europe, every center, and then he had a bypass, so many knee operation in Bombay, bypass and in the woodlands, and so many others. But still, whenever you go, you see maximum number of devotees who visited during his cremation was Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj. No place, not even a place for an ant to come inside Belur Mutt when Maharaj passed away. So he never used to talk with anybody. He was a very simple sadhu, not much of talkative. He used to be himself with himself, that's all. But when he passed away, there was no place even for an ant to enter Belur Mutt. That was the crowd that brought, because of so much tapasya. When he was in Belur Mutt, when he joined young, so Mahapurush Maharaj also told him that he should study Shastras. He learnt it from Shuddhanji Maharaj. He learnt it from Swami Omkaranji Maharaj. Omkaranji Maharaj was in Kankurgachi. He used to come Whenever he used to come, he used to take classes from Bhutesh Anjumar on Shastra. Greatest Shastragna, one of the greatest Shastragna. So then he came to Mysore study circle. There also he learnt Nyaya Mimamsa. Then here also he came to Mysore study circle. Then when these brahmacharis joined Belur Mutt, there was very less place, not much place to sleep. Then due to lack of space, many brahmacharis used to go and sleep in the visitors' room. Now if I say visitors' room, you don't understand. Visitors' room during those days was behind the manager office. You are not supposed to go. If you go, enter from Swamiji's bedroom towards Ganga, if you go, on the left side is the visitors' room where they sing kirtan, etc. Or you can practice music where the tabla, tanpura, everything is kept there. That was the visitors' room during Swamiji's time. So many brahmacharis, due to lack of space, they used to go, no rooms. They used to go and sleep at visitors' room. What Bhutesh Anji Maharaj used to do, the condition was, there was no electricity. Is it not those times there was no electricity? So after evening hours, they used to light a lantern at a particular place in the Belur Mutt. If somebody wants to study, they have to go and sit under that lantern and read. And then after a particular hour, we had no money to buy kerosene also. Kerosene was rationed. So they used to switch off that lantern. Then even if you want to study, no light anywhere. Then Maharaj, what he used to do, he used to go to shrine and collect the old wicks that was used for Deepam for Sri Ramakrishna and collect and kept it with that oil. When this lantern was put up, he used to light this oil wicks thrown from the shrine and to light it, and he used to read the scriptures. That's why when these young college students, they come, I ask, you have internet facility, university facility, MIT, MSc, Oxford, Harvard. After this revolution of internet, you have many options to study many things. Our seniors, including myself, our senior sadhus have nothing like that. But unable to even cross an inch of what they have done. Maharaj used to collect that wig and light it and then used to read. And after some time, he rarely used to sleep at night. Maharaj used to, after everybody has slept, he used to read scriptures. After that, he was going to Holy Mother's temple and used to spend whole night in front of Holy Mother's temple and come for Aarti. When Aarti started the main old temple, now Belur Mutt old temple, he used to come to attend Aarti and then attend to other chorus. They have to bring water start from 4 a.m. They have to bring water from Ganga and fill all the tanks and bathrooms and kitchen everywhere. It starts at 4 a.m., that work. So Maharaj, after attending Aarti, he used to go to Ganga to bring water. Whole night, many days, he has rarely slept. So, that was the sadhu. I am quoting only one sadhu. The way they have brought, otherwise this sadhu samaj cannot be brought under any of the economical activities, no amount of money, nothing else, except sadhana, God's name and His grace and divine love, without which no spiritual organization can pull on for long hours. Impossible. This mission they have all given that light. Now coming to one of the recent incidences, I will quote this and conclude. There are many. With this I will just conclude. Swami Prabhanji Maharaj, who passed away very recently, was one of our vice president. Actually, he joined in Narendrapur. After joining, he came for Mantra Diksha, or before joining also more or less, he took Mantra Diksha from River Swami Shankaranji Maharaj, you may be knowing. Shankaranji Maharaj was the secretary to Brahmanji Maharaj. So, then he was the headmaster he was in Rahara, I think, then in Narendrapur, etc., many centers like that, mainly in mission centers. Then one day, he felt that I should do tapasya, go for tapasya. And he thought I will go to Almora. He thought of moving to Almora. Then he went to, all the way, he went and selected a kutia and then moved to Almora. Then he thought, I have read in Holy Mother's life, what we have read, that mother used to do at least minimum of 1 lakh japa per day. Then he thought, because I have come for tapasya, I will keep that as my guideline. So this will be my guideline. Every day I will do 1 lakh. If you withdraw from work and put your mind to japa, it's not possible at the initial stages. It's very difficult. It's not so easy. So what he did, he went, of course, he was busy with many things in mission center. Then he went to Almora and started doing japa. No, in the initial stages, initial days, he could not come to 1 lakh per day. Mother used to do 1 lakh, 1,25,000. Even Virajanji Maharaj has given his that. I also used to do. Then he thought, because mother has told, then it means it should happen. It may, no, it should. So then he thought it should happen to me. Then sitting for 17 to 18 hours a day, he could complete 1 lakh. Because it depends on your bhava, it depends on your speed. So many things are involved in the Nama Japa. So then he used to sit 18 means 18. So he used to sit for almost 18 hours a day, except for sleep, no other time for anything else. And then the problem, the thing is not about 1 lakh. The problem with counting was, Shankaranji Maharaj never gave any japamala to any of his dikshartis. His system was, if you want to do japa, do in fingers. Never he has given any mala to any dikshartis. Whoever has taken mantra diksha from Shankaranji Maharaj, he says, no, I will not give japmala. You do taking the help of your fingers. No japmala. So you imagine the energy that he needs to count 1 lakh on his fingers. Then what he thought, he collected many stones. So 108, one stone, 108, like that one. He had to maintain one mathematical logarithms, like a matrices, and put columns and maintain. Then, this was, he had a lot of pain in his fingers. You think of counting 1 lakh on your finger without practice. He had lot of pain, he could not do japa, but he had taken a sankalpa of doing. Then Veereshwaranji Maharaj was the president during those times. He heard this from some sadhu, that Prabhanji Maharaj is doing all these things, facing a lot of trouble. Then he sanctified one japmala and sent it to somebody, to Almora, and said, I know that Swami Shankaranji Maharaj did not give you any japmala, but I am giving it to you. You use it for your benefit. He wrote a letter, sanctified a japamala, gave it to Prabhanji Maharaj, and then he used it for further Nama Japa. That's why these are all actually, when it comes to question of practice of sadhana, it is purely very subjective. And the second part is, I think even to have an idea that I should do sadhana also comes from the grace of God. I feel. Many don't feel it. Yes, I do morning and evening. But to have the bhava that I have to realize God and I have to immerse myself into sadhana, that also comes from divine grace. Actually, we see in Viveka Chudamani, Manushatvam, Mukshatvam, Mahajana Samshayaha. This comes through the grace of God. Mahapurusha Samshaya, Manushya Janma, and Mumukshatva, Moksham Icha, Moktum Icha, to get liberated. All these three comes through the grace of God, as defined in Viveka Chudamani. But one more thing has to be added here. These three are not sufficient enough. The self-effort that we do should be added to all these three. Otherwise, no use of all these three. Let us say, if you ask me, yes, I got a Mahapurusha Samshaya, I got a Manushya Jarma, I have Moktum Icha, yes. Have you realized God? If you ask me, Swami, I say no. These three also not sufficient. Why? Put proper self-effort there, then only divine grace will come in the form of purity of the mind to realize the divinity. That's why after seeing many sadhus, even to what extent that purity will help you. Let us say, to give one example from its time up, just I am concluding. Here, before Yatishwaran, it's Tyagishanji Maharaj. Many senior devotees know that. Tyagishanji Maharaj, how he used to give his lectures? He used to give lectures on Sunday, is it not? That too in the morning. Now, because of all cosmopolitanism, we have come to evening. Those days, it was in no TV. I think there was no Dharavahi, etc. documentary those days. No. So, when Tyagishanji Maharaj was here, morning 9:30 in that VB hall, centenary building, he used to come, sit, squatting on the floor, close his eyes and start his lecture. Is it not? One day he started at 9:30. It went till 1 p.m. Somebody woke him up. Swami, it's all one. Already Ganta Podakeche, there, dining hall. Then he is, and then during his last days, he took class on Ishavasya Upanishad, one of the smallest Upanishad. He took class on Isha. He took class for 10 months. And then those who are taking notes have taken notes for 400 pages. The notes has gone to 400 pages. He is taking class from past 10 months. He has completed only 2 verses. He will not, he is a Pakka Rushi. Rushi, if you want supposed to see, during this, Tyagashanji was the one who was a Rushi. 10 months he has taken class, and then he has completed only 2 verses. And brahmacharis were bored hearing him for 10 minutes. Then, Maharaj, how long will you take? He was very much disgusted. I wanted you to understand, prepare your mind for a higher thing. Anyhow, you are not interested. And then, in 2 months, he completed all remaining verses. That was his case. If he closes his eyes and he starts, that Ishavasya Upanishad has translated into English. It's there. It's available. He starts from Veda, Vedic. He has a lecture on Rama. He has lecture on Ganapati. There's lectures on his Avatara. His lecture on Ishavasya. He has got lecture on Bhagavad Gita. He has lecture on Narada Bhakti Sutra, Bhagavata. During his last days, he used to read only Bhagavatam in Kolar Medical College. He was completely bedridden during his last days. He was a Bhakta Rushi. If somebody goes to his room, as I heard Shastranji is telling, he used to see full of books. In mist, you can see some person sitting in between inside. No, nothing. If he want to speak, close his eyes and everything comes from within. That is what you understand by purity of mind. If mind is pure, it will take many things inside. Potential divinity will start manifesting to that purity of the mind. For that, self-effort sadhana is a must, especially Namajapa. Bhajana, I can say, common term. So with this, I will conclude. Next Sunday, as I told you in the beginning itself, I will not be there because I will be in Belgaum. We will again meet on the third Sunday with Sri Ramakrishna Leela Prasanga. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.